Alright, listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just some wild theory. This is real, and it's happening right under our noses. And the craziest part? Hardly anyone is talking about it. If you think you know how the world works, prepare yourself, because once you hear this, you won't look at things the same way again. It all starts with a series of leaked documents. I'm not talking about those generic, redacted files everyone pretends are a big deal. No. This is something else. Something bigger. These documents outline a project so classified, so deeply hidden, that even members of the government themselves aren't fully aware of its scope. And what's even more unsettling? The project isn't just about surveillance or controlling information. It's about controlling reality itself. The project, known internally by the codename Obsidian Dawn, traces back decades. Some sources claim it began as early as the 1950s during the height of the Cold War. At first, it was simply an attempt to harness new forms of communication, faster, more secure channels to protect sensitive data. But somewhere along the way, things changed. They stopped focusing on communication and started focusing on manipulation. Imagine, for a moment, a system capable of influencing public perception on a global scale. Not just through media, this goes beyond television broadcasts or internet algorithms. I'm talking about altering the very way you experience reality. Sounds insane, right? But here's the thing, the technology exists. And it's been tested. Several whistleblowers, many of whom have mysteriously disappeared, described advanced neurointerface systems. These aren't just your typical brain-machine interfaces. No, these operate on a whole different level. The idea is simple. If you can tap into the brain's electrical patterns, you can influence thoughts, emotions, even memories. What if the world around you could be subtly changed, and you'd never even question it? One former researcher, whose identity remains hidden for their safety, detailed how the project evolved. Initially, it was about influencing targeted individuals, political figures, activists, anyone deemed a threat to the official narrative. But as technology improved, the scope expanded. The goal shifted from individual manipulation to mass influence. Entire populations could be guided, nudged into compliance without them ever realizing it. Here's where it gets even darker. There's evidence suggesting this technology has already been deployed. Have you ever felt like something was off, like the world around you shifted slightly, but you couldn't quite place why? Some researchers believe these moments, what people call glitches, are side effects of large-scale reality manipulation tests. And guess what? You might have already experienced it without even knowing. It gets weirder. Certain regions around the globe report higher incidence of these glitches, unexplained phenomena like time distortions, missing hours, even mass memory lapses. Coincidence? Hardly. These regions all share a common factor: proximity to classified government facilities or advanced data centers. There are patterns the mainstream media won't touch with a 10-foot pole. One of the most chilling discoveries involves a decommissioned military site known as Site Theta. Officially, it was shut down in the early 2000s. Unofficially, activity never stopped. Satellite imagery reveals ongoing construction beneath the surface, massive, sprawling complexes. What are they building? And why is access to the area so heavily restricted? Multiple independent investigators who've tried to approach the site have been intercepted, some detained, others, well, let's just say they haven't been heard from again. Documents leaked by a former intelligence operative describe an initiative referred to as the Continuum Protocol. If this is true, the implications are terrifying. The protocol's purpose? To create an artificial framework of reality, a simulation layered on top of what we perceive as the real world. Imagine living in a version of reality meticulously curated to keep you unaware, unquestioning, and most importantly, complacent. And if you think that's impossible, consider this: cutting-edge developments in quantum computing and neural mapping aren't science fiction anymore. Governments and private entities pour billions into these fields every year. What if all those resources aren't just about scientific advancement? What if the true purpose is to control how you perceive the world itself? The pieces start to fit together when you examine recent shifts in global policies, unprecedented crackdowns on information, an increased focus on cybersecurity under the guise of protection, and strange, unexplained blackouts affecting communication networks. Are these isolated events, or part of a larger, more coordinated effort to refine and perfect this system of control? And here's the most unsettling question: if they've already mastered this technology, how would you even know? How would any of us know if the reality we experience is genuine or something carefully engineered? Think about the stories that get buried: whistleblowers who vanish without a trace, scientists who mysteriously die under suspicious circumstances. And those fleeting moments when reality itself seems to flicker. Could these be the signs of a much larger project unfolding behind the scenes? But there's something else, something they don't want you to know. And once you hear it, you won't be able to unsee it. And just when you think it couldn't get any stranger, there's more. The deeper you dig, the clearer it becomes that this project isn't just about advanced technology or surveillance. No, it goes far beyond that. We're talking about a potential shift in the very fabric of reality, an experiment that could rewrite the rules of existence as we know it. Sources indicate that the ultimate goal may not be controlling people in the traditional sense, but rather controlling the very nature of perception itself. Imagine a world where what you see, hear, and even think could be influenced at a fundamental level. Not just propaganda, but reality manipulation. Sounds impossible, right? But with recent breakthroughs in quantum computing and neural mapping, it may already be happening. And the craziest part: there are whispers that this project didn't even originate from our own government. Some insiders suggest that the technology came from an external source, something not of this world. Think about it: advancements that seemingly came out of nowhere, at a pace no one can logically explain. What if humanity has been working alongside something, or someone, we're not supposed to know about? Even former officials who worked on these classified projects have come forward, anonymously of course, to confirm that what the public sees is only the surface layer. Below that, an intricate web of interdepartmental research connecting military intelligence, private tech corporations, and agencies that officially don't even exist. And here's where it gets really disturbing: leaked documents suggest that the project's next phase involves real-time cognitive influence. In simple terms, they could theoretically plant ideas or erase memories without a trace. If that sounds like science fiction, just remember, every major technological leap once seemed impossible until it wasn't. The strangest coincidences seem to line up if you start connecting the dots. High-level resignations from intelligence agencies, sudden accidents involving whistleblowers, and major corporate patents that align a little too perfectly with the rumored objectives of the project. If this is all just a coincidence, then it's the most well-coordinated coincidence in history. So, why don't people talk about this? Fear. Plain and simple. The few who know what's really going on understand the stakes. But here's the question you have to ask yourself: if this project is real, how much of your reality is actually under your control? And if you don't decide what you see, what you believe, who does? The truth is, the more you uncover, the harder it is to deny that something larger is happening behind the scenes. And maybe, just maybe, we're only beginning to scratch the surface.